Welcome inside Odell Arena on a sunny Saturday afternoon here in the metropolis that is Upland, Indiana. Today, it's a Crossroads League matchup between the Grace Lancers at 9-6, 1-5 in the Crossroads League, and the Taylor Trojans riding a 5-game winning streak. They're 11-3 overall. They're 5-2 in Crossroads League action. Rick Johnson is my name, and this is the Marion General Hospital pregame show. Taylor picked up their 5th win of the year in a convincing 50-point blowout, 101-51 against Bethel on Wednesday. None of the starters played more than 19 minutes. Meredith Deckard led the way with 18 points. She was 6 of 10 from the floor and from three-point range. In Meredith's last 2 games, she's scored 24 and 18 points and shot 14 of 24 from three-point range, which is 58% in her last 4 games. Meredith is 20 of 37 from downtown for 54% after going 2 of 12 in the 3 games before. All those 4 games have come back since she came back from a lower body injury. Lauren James had 16 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 13 in the opening stanza. And Trojans had a career high from Taylor Westgate, 15 points on 7 of 10 shooting. And Gretchen Mall was a double-double off her first rebound off her first career double-double, 16 points and 9 boards for the sophomore out of Nebraska. Grace will play their 3rd game this week this afternoon after falling 82-69 at Indiana Wesleyan on Wednesday. The Wildcats had 56 points in the paint, and they scored 25 points off of the 19 Grace turnovers. Grace led early 29 at the end of that first quarter, but then after the score was tied at 28 in the second, Grace made just 1 field goal in the final 6 minutes and 42 seconds. And they trailed by 13 at the break and will be unable to overcome that deficit. Grace led by 3rd-year head coach Dan Davis. The Trojans led by their 4th-year head man. His name is, of course, Jody Martinez. These 2 teams met back in December on December 12th in Winona Lake. The Trojans victors that afternoon, 78-64. They led 20-9 after the first. After a nice push by Grace in the second period, Taylor used a 30-21 output in the third to take the game into control on the back of 19 made 3-point baskets. We'll take a break, come back, and we'll hear from the head coach of the Trojans, Jody Martinez, after this. This is the Marion General Hospital pregame show, and this is Taylor Women's Basketball on the Trojan Sports Network.
When you need the fuel to be your nephew's #1 fan, Holiday Inn Express. We're there, so you can be too.
The Marion General Hospital pregame show, catching up with Taylor women's basketball head coach Jody Martinez before they take on Grace here this afternoon inside Odell Arena. Let's talk about the new scheduling update. You guys were not scheduled to go play Spring Arbor on Wednesday because of some Michigan rules and health regulations and things like that. So you've added a road game at Lourdes on Wednesday afternoon. How did that all come about?
Yeah, Lourdes and us, we were originally scheduled pre-COVID to play at their place in December. And with all COVID hitting different states and different state guidelines, county guidelines, Lourdes had to shut down after the first couple weeks in November until January, and they're practicing now, and they can start competing next week. And they had an open date. We have an open date, and so contract-wise, I have to go back to Lourdes to fulfill the 2-year agreement. And so, the opportunity to get that done now is great. If not, we would have gone there next year. And so now playing there this coming next Wednesday will fulfill the contract, as well as me having a potential home game for next season.
Let's talk about your game Wednesday, a 50-point win over Bethel, 101-51. You guys jumped out to a 14-0 start. How impressive was that performance, particularly not playing for 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, I thought our starters did a great job setting the tone, a lot of energy. And I think it was the excitement, enthusiasm of finally competing again from not playing since December 19th. I thought the starters did an outstanding job defensively, executing the game plan. As you said, we started off with a big lead early, but the starters, we got up 51-10, and that was amazing. I mean, against anyone, you do that too. And so, credit to the starting 5 to set the tone, and then the bench coming in to keep the consistency going.
Lauren James had 16 points, 13 of which she scored in that dominant first quarter. When she gets off to the start like that she does, what does that do for the rest of the team?
It opens up everyone else's shot selection. It opens up a lot of play calling, just her confidence. And some of those shots, she did an outstanding job of driving and shooting off the dribble in the middle of the paint. She did a good job of recognizing the shot clock. And she spread the ball out too. You know, she also leads us in assists. And she should. She's the point guard. But she's also a point guard that can score. And so when she's on early and Meredith is shooting, that's going to open up the post game. As you saw with the rest of the game as it went on, the high-low started opening up. And, you know, a lot of people benefited from the start the guards gave us.
One of those post players that benefited greatly was Taylor Westgate, had a career-high 15 points. Is the game starting to slow down for her as she gets ready to start the second half of her freshman season?
Yeah, I think a lot of her beginning play was she just wanted to be a perfect post player, and she just has a bad habit coming in rightly and respectfully so, being doubled and triple teamed a lot in high school. And being a former post player, been there, I understand the feeling of the mental side of the game where your instincts are like, okay, they're coming from the weak side, are they coming from the 45 angle, are they coming from the passer? And you got to make quick decisions. And sometimes when you make too quick, you're going too fast. And when you're going fast, you're hurrying up. And that's what Taylor was doing early. That's why if you look at her stats right now, her shooting percentage is not where it needs to be compared to Gretchen. Now Gretchen's a sophomore. Gretchen has learned. Gretchen knows what a smart shot is and what's not a smart shot. And Gretchen had a career game on Wednesday. One rebound away from a double-double. But Gretchen had 16 points herself, or was it 18? I can't remember now. But the thing is you see Gretchen, she was 80% from the floor. And on the season right now, Gretchen's at 63%, where last year, we couldn't get her up and down the court enough to even get a shot off sometimes. And the post game's getting better. And to go back to Taylor, like I said, Taylor's confidence from shooting outside. She plays real smooth in practice. Right now it's a game management issue on her.
No starter played more than 19 minutes. How crucial is that with so much time off and trying to get back into the flow of things with a game right around here on Saturday?
Yeah, just those are the games that I'm not going to make starters play 30 minutes when there's opportunities for the bench. The bench they work hard too. Right now, just the starters have a better unity and a better game management flow than the subs do. But, like you said, no one played 19 minutes. Only 3 played 18 minutes. The other 2 played less than 15 minutes. But every player, which is unheard of in college, all 13 players played double-digit minutes. And you had some players on the bench that played more than starters. And so that's a team effort. That's a team accomplishment. It'd be nice to have that kind of consistency, wouldn't it? But the reality is that's not going to happen.
We're talking with Taylor women's basketball head coach Jody Martinez before they take on the Lancers of Grace today. The Grace Lancers playing their 3rd game this week. They beat Bethel Monday. They lost at Indiana Wesleyan on Wednesday. You guys like to play fast. Can you try to exploit this being their 3rd game this week?
They're conditioned because Coach Davis has them playing a system that's a full court press, transition game, dribble weave, offensive sets, shoot the 3 when you're open mentality. So they've been trained for a few years now in this system. So conditioning wise, they're going to be fine. If anything, they're going to be probably more conditioned than we are since we've only played once since December 19th. And if I'm not mistaken, this might be their 5th or 6th game since December 19th. And so, you can look at it either way philosophy wise. And the good thing is we're at home, and hopefully we continue having shooting with a lot of confidence right now.
Last thing, you beat them 78-64 back in December thanks to 19 made 3-point baskets. How are they different from that first matchup?
Well, if Coach Davis doesn't make many changes in his system, he just relies on 40 minutes of 2-2-1 press or a 1-2-1-1 press, but mostly it's a 2-2-1 press, and he'll drop into a 2-3 or 3-2 zone. I don't see him changing. Now, if I was playing us, I definitely would not do the same strategy as the last time with us scoring 78 points at their place. But like I said, Dan historically doesn't change his system much.
Jody, thanks for the time. Best of luck against Grace.
Thank you. I want to give a shout out to my wife who couldn't be at the game today. I love you, and we'll see you soon.
First, for our visitors from Grace. Starting at guard, 5'6" sophomore, number 3, Maddie Brown. Also at guard, 5'4" senior, number 4, Keanu Stoll. At guard, 5'1" senior, number 13, Cameron Hostin. At guard, 5'11" freshman, number 43, Kirsten Poole. And at center, 6'1" senior, number 50, Katie Wood. And now fans, get on your feet and starting the lineup for your Taylor Trojans. At guard, 5'5" junior from Martinsville, Indiana, number 3, Merritt Decker. At guard, 5'7" junior from Seymour, Indiana, number 10, Lauren James. At forward, 6' junior from Gilbertville, Indiana, number 12, Kayla Hurtley. At guard, 5'7" freshman from Westwood, Indiana, number 22, Ava Henson. At forward, 5'11" senior from Adrian, Michigan, number 33, Kiara Nieto. Your Trojans are coached by Jody Martinez and assisted by Cassidy Wise.
So the starting lineup for the Trojans, they'll see Ava Henson get her 3rd start of her freshman career after subbing in for Meredith Deckard about a month ago due to Meredith's lower body injury. Lauren James, the Trojans' top scorer, also leads them in assists. Meredith Deckard, their top 3-point shooter. Kayla Kirtley and Kiara Nieto, who's the Trojans' 2nd-best rebounder. Kiana Stoll's the do-everything guard. 3rd-team All-Crossroads League selection, their leading scorer at almost 17 a game. Maddie Ryman just behind her at 14 a ball game. Cameron Hostetler, Kirsten Poore, and Kaylee Warble. It'll be Warble v. Kirtley to jump. Warble taps it to the front court, quickly thrown to the far sideline. Stoll will gather it in as Henson will watch her every move. Around the arc will be Hostetler and then off to Stoll, the all-league selection from a season ago. Henson will watch her every move, the top scorer and one of the better guards in the Crossroads League. Right to left go Grace in black with red numbers and red letters. Shot clock now at 10. Hostetler, screen and roll Warble, triple team. Pass was tapped. Poore got it up and over Nieto in the paint. Hits the front rim, no. And it's hauled in by Lauren James of Taylor. Looking for outlets. Nieto had her back turned, got tangled around. And it's tipped away and intercepted by Grace. Here come the Lancers from right to left. Near side, catching and shooting a 3. Ryman, good from the perimeter left. Good start for Maddie Ryman as she was 0 of 4. From 3 against Indiana Wesleyan on Wednesday. Full court press from the Lancers. Taylor breaks it with ease as Henson jogs to the front court. Decker trying to tie the game with a 3. Yep, that was way too easy for Grace and way too easy for Deckard. We mentioned the last 4 games, Meredith 54% from downtown, and she keeps her up right where she left off on Wednesday. 3-3 score. Both teams score on their 2nd possession after coming up empty on possession number 1. Poore trying to turn the corner, near side, a little shake to the left and Hostetler. Left elbow, back near side Poore. The post player fires a 3, off the front rim, no. Weak side rebound, Warble tried to save it. No one home for Taylor, and it's hauled in by Maddie Ryman. Hostetler trying to cross over James, forcing her to the baseline, threads it back, but Hostetler stepped on the baseline, and Taylor will get the ball off of the Grace miscue. Grace turns it over just 17 times, but they forced 25 turnovers. So a rare turnover from their end. They're the best team in turnover margin in the Crossroads League and almost better than 8 turnovers than their opponent, or 8 turnovers less than their opponent, I should say. This press is a reason why Taylor breaks it, and Grace will sit in this 2-3 zone, which you've seen Taylor feast on. Deckard cut from the left corner. Her head was down. James threw it right over her head, thinking that Deckard was cutting for an attack on the hoop. Instead, Deckard was cutting through space. And a miscommunication, 2 turnovers here for James early on. When she has been good for Taylor, that's when they have not turned the ball over. Almost 2 minutes gone here in quarter 1. 3-3 the score between Taylor and Grace. Lancers in black with red numbers and red letters. They shoot on the basket to our left. Hostetler high right side, down to Warble, got inside position. Nieto threw it up off the glass high, nothing else. And Kirtley has the rebound for Taylor. To her classmate far side, Deckard, who has Taylor's only 3 points, as the Trojans look for their first lead of the afternoon. Again to the 2-3 zone goes Grace. We've seen Taylor hit almost 23s. Actually 23s plural on this floor against the Grace zone. Make this Nieto. Nice find to Kirtley, but it just rolls off the rim as the Grace backline defense fell asleep. They left Kirtley open from point-blank range, and it rolled off the rim, and the score remains tied at 3. Hostetler to Poor. Perimeter right, left-hand dribble, long to a high arcer, front rim hard. Kirtley puts that left paw in the air and hauls it in for her second carom for Taylor. 2.5 minutes expired here in this first quarter. Henson right corner, right block Nieto. Little slap away as they couldn't get it to James, poked away by Ryman, and now James will try to chase her down. Ryman, Euro step, layup, no good on an excellent challenge by James, and Deckard's there for the miss for Taylor. Each team with just one field goal. Grace has missed more shots than TU. The Trojans have turned it over more than the visitors. Still a 3-3 ball game on the three from Ryman, and then Deckard had the answer on the next possession. Since then, both teams have gone the last minute plus cold. Turnaround, 5-footer Kirtley, perfect from the block right after an excellent find from James. 5-zip Taylor lead. Good find, James. Good bucket, Kirtley. Ryman around the arc to the near side, a little handoff to Stull. With Henson watching her every move, Stull stop and pop three, back rim long. Kirtley has her third rebound of the opening quarter. Far side James, Henson leaking out behind everyone. Stull got back and was able to deflect the pass away before Henson could have an uncontested layup. Subs in for Grace. Just one. Kirsten Poor exits, and Kaylee Patton comes in to replace her. Patton, a 5'9 freshman, a local kid from up in Winona Lake from Warsaw, Indiana. Kiara Nieto having a discussion with Tim Cartwright, one of our three officials today. Tim's out there with Kyle Stackhouse and Charles Smith. James floats it away, but since it'll bounce to the backcourt with no one touching it, Deckard can go back and pick it up with no one chasing. Grace will sit back in this 2-3 zone. They extend it out around the arc, trying to pressure out on the Taylor three-point shooters, which there are plenty of. Deckard, one of them, near side of the floor to the right elbow. Nieto turns and faces. She'll fire from the free throw line. Front rim, backboard, glass, home. Bucket for Nieto, and Taylor takes a 7-3 lead. 7-0 jaunt for the home team. 6 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. Patton to the base, to the paint, trying to spin away. Good job by Kirtley, and she'll kick it out to Ryman as the half-court set continuing to roll here for Grace. Hostetler, step back three, rattles that one in from about near the top. Second field goal for Grace on the Hostetler three-point basket, and they turn their deficit down to 1. Deckard between the circles to James, out near the volleyball line. We saw her hit a three against Governor State from that distance. Into the middle of the zone, Nieto spinning. She's got Henson open left side, so she'll pull the trigger from three, skipping it off the rim. Nieto taps it, Kirtley back taps it out, and it's gobbled up by Meredith Deckard. 7-6 the Taylor lead as we inch closer to the halfway point here of quarter number 1. Taylor in white with purple letters and gold numbers. Right corner James still looking for her first two and tried to go down low. Nieto warble front of the post and deflected it out of bounds with a right hand. 7 to shoot for TU. James will get it in on the near baseline as Taylor shoots on the basket to our right. Stoll's back is to her as they sit in their 2-3 zone does Grace. Floating it up top, Deckard might have traveled. Far side Kirtley with 4 to shoot. 3-point shot will be an air ball from Kirtley, and here comes Grace the other way from right to left in black, looking to regain a lead down 1. Stoll to Ryman. Hostetler was open. Now she'll drive from the left corner. Kicking far side Patton, who hopped before her shot, and she swishes a 3 in front of the Taylor bench. So after Taylor went on a 7-0 run, Grace answers with 6 of their own, and they go in front 9-7 on the back of 3 3-point baskets here in the opening quarter. 4:48 and counting here in quarter number 1. Between the circles, James, far sideline to Henson. And then up top to James. Deckard open, pulls the trigger from 3, and Deckard will miss this one off the near side of the rim. Rebound gobbled up near side by Stull. She'll give off to Hostetler, who goes from right to left. Left-hand dribble. Grace on a 6-0 run. Patton wants her second 3 in as many tries and gets it. Patton came in just 36% from downtown, but she comes right off the bench in place of Poor and makes 2 big ones in back-to-back possessions. It's a 9-0 Grace answer, and they take an early game lead, their biggest of the afternoon so far at 5, 12-7. James tried to throw it in, and Patton makes another good play. The 4th turnover for Taylor here in the opening quarter, and the 3rd one by James. Stull, left-hand drive, trying to cut her off for the Trojans. Throws it up wildly, no good, and Nieto gobbles it up off the floor. Henson far side, Taylor trying to end their long scoring drought. Deckard with defenders hounding around her will stop and let things set up in the half court. 4 first-quarter turnovers for the Trojans, not what head coach Jody Martinez drew up, as they trail by 5, trying to stop this 9-0 Grace barrage. Free throw line, Nieto. She's got Kirtley open right block, trying to turn the corner. Flings it to the far side where it's a left corner. Henson 3, and Ava hits it. Much needed 3 by Henson in her 3rd start of her career, and Taylor trims the deficit to 2. 3:30 remaining here in quarter 1 with subs ready to come in for both teams at the next dead ball. 3 for Taylor and 1 will be for Grace. Hostetler at the volleyball line. Left elbow Patton wanting to go backdoor stall. Goes far side to Hostetler. Has 1-3 already. Up top they find Ryman. Driving and kicking. Hostetler quick release from a 3 off the right side of the rim. James will knife her way in and push it out where it's picked up off the floor by Kirtley. Her 4th first quarter rebound. Taylor can tie or take the lead here, down 12-10 with 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Kirtley driving from up top, turns the corner, right hand layup. That was easy money for Kayla Kirtley, and she ties the game at 12. 4 in the quarter for Kirtley with less than 3 to go in the first. Hostetler drives, James cuts her off. Outside to Patton, she's made her 2 threes this afternoon. That one will hit hard off the rim, but it comes back out to the far side and Hostetler for Grace. And then the shot clock reset to 30. And so they'll reset it down to 20. It currently says at 27. And they'll reset it down to 17. Ariel Dale, Taylor Westgate, and Gretchen Mall all enter for the Trojans. James Nieto and Kirtley will all exit for the home team. Kirsten Poor comes back in for Grace. She replaces Kaylee Warble. Kiara Gill in for the first time for the Lancers along with Kenzie McMahon. Grace ball with 18 to shoot. 2:39 remaining here in the opening quarter. They're shooting 4 of 12 from the field, and the ball game tied at 12. All the field goals for Grace have been from 3-point range. Weave up top with Gill, the freshman out of Carmel, Indiana. Right elbow extended, McMahon, left-hand drive, kicks near side to Gill. Nice step around, but she traveled on the near side as she tried to shimmy away from Taylor's Meredith Deckard. Just the 2nd turnover for Grace here in the opening quarter, and Taylor will look to regain the lead for the 2nd time here in quarter number 1. Backcourt pressure here as Westgate will deal it in. 4 Lancers back there. Mall far sideline to Westgate in the middle, then near side to Dale. Taylor makes easy work of the Grace pressure. They try to trap Dale in the near corner. She dribbles away from that pressure. And now Taylor will set things up in the half court. Grace leaves Deckard open. Straight on, straight through for the hot shooting Meredith Deckard. 2 of 3 from downtown, and Taylor regains a lead at 15-12. For the 2nd time today, Grace leaves Deckard open, and she makes them pay. Gill almost gave the ball right to Deckard. Then she gives it to Deckard again in tight quarters. Meredith has picked up her dribble. She needs help, and she'll find the outlet in Westgate. Back-to-back turnovers for Grace in the last 2 possessions. They leave Mall open down low, and she gets mauled, pun intended, completely by Patton as they were late to get back. And for some reason, Grace's zone continues to leave Taylor post players wide open on the right block. First on Patton, first against Grace, as the Lancers get an earful and a half from 3rd-year head coach Dan Davis. Gill quickly exits, and we'll see who the sub is. It's Hostetler back in quickly. Mall with 2 free throws. The first. Perfect. Gretchen's free throw shooting has been impeccable this season at 82%. She's coming off her season-high 16 points in the win over Bethel on Wednesday. Taylor's lead up to 4. And now 5, as the 6'4 Mall swishes them both. 17-12, the Taylor advantage, as Grace quickly comes from right to left. McMahon was open for a jump shot. She didn't let it go, and she traveled as she tried to put the ball on the deck. And another sub in for Grace. McMahon will be exiled to the bench as Maddie Ryman comes back in here for GC. A minute 42 left to go here in the opening stanza. Taylor 6 of 10 from the floor and 3 of 6 from downtown. Their bugaboo right now has been their 4 first-quarter turnovers, but they still lead by 5. Across the front court, Westgate traveled with it as she couldn't drag that pivot foot. And now Taylor head coach Jody Martinez will give his team an earful and a half from the sideline across from us. 93 seconds remaining here in quarter number 1. Grace to the ball, down 5. They shoot on the basket to our left. Step, a jump shot over Mall, off the back rim too long, hits in the air, goes off of Westgate's knee as it went through her arms on the mid-range jump shot by Kirsten Poor. Grace just 4 of 14 from the floor. They're 0 of 6 inside the arc, 4 of 8 beyond it. And they trail by 5, with 86 seconds left to go in the first. Near corner Ryman, Deckard there to defend, out to the right-hand driving Poor. Nice cut by Dale, goes in, and a travel against Kirsten Poor after she banked it in on the glass. It was the help side by Dale as Poor tried to take Mall to the rack that forced Poor to pick up the ball and travel before she got the shot off and banked it home. Turnover number 5 against Grace here in the opening quarter. That matches the Taylor output. Westgate trying to break the backcourt press, picks up the dribble. She's in trouble. She'll fling it all the way to the far corner, and Deckard, who snatches it away before it could be intercepted by Patton. Henson open, left corner 3. They left her open. She missed it. Westgate, the Trojans' top rebounder, gets an offensive board left side. And then they call a double dribble on Westgate underneath the hoop after official Kyle Stackhouse got his ears screamed in by Grace head coach Dan Davis. Just the 4th miss from 3 for Taylor this afternoon. They've made 3 of their 7 tries. And with 60 seconds left to go in the first, Grace goes from right to left in black. Each team with 3 points off the turnover. Each team with 5 giveaways here in quarter 1. Hostetler between the circles. They denied an easy pass to Ryman. Good job, Deckard. Stole. Near side Hostetler. Right-hand dribble. Thought about a step back 3. He drives in. Good back tap by Dale. It went up and over off the elbow of Maul. It goes out of bounds off of Taylor. Remains here with Grace, but a great back tap from Ariel Dale like we used to see Aubrey Wright do throughout her fantastic career. 9 to shoot for Grace. Hostetler gets it in quickly near side Ryman. With 40 seconds remaining here in the first, Stoll will try to take herself on Henson. Stop and pop 3, trying to bank it home. No, goes through the hands of Poor and into the arms of Taylor's Gretchen Mall. Stoll, the top scorer for Grace, scoreless here in the opening quarter so far, 0 of 3. About 3 seconds between game and shot clock. Taylor with a 5-point advantage. They've been stuck on the 17-point mark for a while. Try to slip it through the Mall. They couldn't on a deflection. So she kicks it out to Deckard, who's denied an open look at 3. Lobbing it in, high pass from Dale to Mall. She gets it. Nice dish down low, Westgate, who lays it in with the left hand. They double-teamed Mall, and Gretchen used that height and dumped it down to Westgate for a deuce. 7-point Taylor lead. Hostetler runs, misses a jump shot short after she went through the Taylor defense, and that will be how our first quarter comes to a close. After trailing by 5, 12-7, the Trojans closed the first quarter on a 12-0 run to lead 19-12 after 1 quarter here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
If you have a child that would like to come to volleyball or basketball camp this summer, here are your dates. The volleyball camp will be tentatively from June 13th to the 17th. Women's basketball, June 20th to the 24th and June 27th to July 1. And the boys basketball camp from July 11th to the 15th, 18th to the 22nd, and 25th to the 29th. We say hello to Ashley Harrell, who's watching us back in the metropolis that is Plymouth, Indiana. And any other students that are watching inside the dorms, reach out to me via social media. We'll give you a shout-out throughout the game going on. Curtly in tight quarters, down to Nieto. She goes down to O'Neill to save it. Taylor starters on the floor to start the second quarter. They turn it over on the 6th one here of the game so far. Hostetler shot out of a cannon, drives and kicks. Ryman open 1-3 today, and that will spin off the rim. No, tapped out of bounds by whom? By Taylor, and it remains here with Grace. No. They'll say it goes off of Grace, and it'll go back to Taylor. Taylor shot 7 of 12 in the opening quarter. Grace just 4 of 16. Ironically enough, they were 0 of 7 inside the arc, all of their field goals from beyond. Taylor breaks the full court press as Nieto hands off to Deckard as Grace slides back into that 2-3 zone. Left corner Henson, shot was blocked on the good challenge by Poor, caught by Nieto, quick ping passing, and now it's James between the circles with 10 to shoot. James, a right-hand bounce out to Deckard. She can shoot from this range, lobs it behind the zone to Kirtley, deflected out by the leaping Kaylee Patton, and it remains here with Taylor with 5 to shoot. So Patton on the floor to start here in quarter number 2. She's the only non-starter out there replacing Warble. She's out there with Poor, Hostetler, Stoll, and Ryman. Decker to get it in far sideline with Taylor on top by 7, looking for the first points of quarter 2. Kirtley with 4 to shoot. Right corner Deckard with 2, driving with 1, gets it off, and Taylor will turn it over as Deckard took 1 extra dribble, 1 extra pass, tried to find it to Nieto, and it went through everyone and out to the backcourt. 8th turnover by Taylor here in the game. Their second one in as many possessions here in the second stanza. Taylor led 7-6 or 7-3 after a 7-0 run after falling behind by 3-zip. Then Grace answered with a 9-0 run, and then Taylor closed the quarter on a 12-0 spurt. They lead by 7 here. Near side Poor fakes left, trying to spin away from Kirtley, cutting her off baseline. Nicely done, Kirtley, but a better job by Poor to serpentine her way around Kirtley and bank it in with a right-hand scoop. 19-14 the Taylor lead as Grace strikes first here in the second stanza. Deckard near side as the Trojans break the full court Grace pressure, and the Lancers slide back into their 2-3 zone. Taylor 3 of 8 from downtown today. James between the circles to the free throw line. Nieto, hard bounce pass. Kirtley gets it. Then she threw it in with her back to the basket and banked it in with a right hand. Kayla Kirtley pulls a Houdini and gets Taylor on the board, and they lead back again by 7. Drive and kick, host other corner 3, swish. Her second one today on good drive and penetration by the Lancers. Again, all of their field goals except one as Henson, double team, gets into the front court and Taylor will regroup. 21-17 the Taylor lead, 2 minutes expired here in quarter number 2. Taylor in white, they shoot on the basket to our right. Grace defends in the 2-3 zone. In black, they leave Kirtley open. James threads it and Kirtley lays it in for another 2. This time the first quarter was the right block that was wide open. Here in quarter 2, it seems to be the left block. And Kirtley with back-to-back points. She's got a team-high 8, and Taylor's lead is 1-6. Patton Hops gets away with the travel. Right jump shot missed, and its weak side rebound is Lauren James's. The Trojans' top scorer still in search of her first points. Both teams' top scorers stole for Grace, scoreless as well. Deckard had a pair of threes in the opening quarter. She floats it back to James. She'll bullet one backside to Kirtley, and this time stepping in front and deflecting the pass away was Patton before Kirtley could get another wide open look. Kaylee Warble makes her first second quarter appearance along with Kenzie McMahon. They replace Patton and Stull. Stull 0 of 3 from the floor. She's Grace's top scorer, as we mentioned. James, the Trojans' top point getter, still has yet to take a shot. Nieto takes the inbounds pass. They leave Kirtley open for a 3, and just like she did with her layups, she cans a 3-ball. How about 7 in the quarter for Kayla Kirtley with a game-high 11, and the Trojans lead by a game-high 9. As Kirtley putting her stamp on the early portions of this second quarter. 3-point shot missed near side by Grace. The Lancers get the rebound with McMahon. Hostetler in, poked away nicely by Nieto, and stolen by James, who gets fancy with a behind-the-back bounce. Deckard, high right side as Taylor tries to catch Grace sliding to the 2-3 zone. James attacks, triple team. Kirtley wants another 3, left corner. Tried to bang it off the high glass, no. Nieto got it, trying to dive for it near side. She dives on the floor, can't get it, as Ryman was able to poke it away. Shot still pull up, jump shot floated in nicely by Hostetler, the free throw line. 26-19, the Taylor advantage now as Grace quickly moves it up the floor after the Taylor miscue. Nieto was right there. Ryman dove in front, then slid on those knee pads to keep the ball away from the Taylor senior. Now a 3-2 zone look here for Grace as James will float it right corner. Deckard, they leave her open. That's a problem for Grace. It was halfway down and rolls out as Deckard had a clean look from the corner. 7-point Taylor advantage. Grace flings it up near side to Poor. Pull up, 15-foot, hits the bottom of the rim. Good challenge by Kirtley and gobbled up off the floor by Taylor's Lauren James. James galloping. There's no one guarding Kirtley. She'll kick it near side to an open Ava Henson, whose 3 is perfect. Second triple. Ava Henson and the Trojans take a 10-point advantage, forcing a Grace timeout. Taylor 29, Grace 19. 5:57 to go, quarter 2.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online Tire Finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor
30-second stoppage for Grace. They're shooting just 7 of 23 from beyond the arc. Stoll quickly back in for Grace. Warble remains out there. McMahon, the only non-starter out there, with Ryman and Hostetter running the point guard. Running the point guard spot, I should say. High right side to Stoll, into the paint. Warble, turnaround hook over Westgate, off the glass and nothing else. And Kirtley continues her stellar first half with her 5th first half rebound. Deckard wheeling and finds some open space left side. Kirtley open for a moment, and then she'll give off to James, who fumbled with the ball but got it back. Taylor Westgate and Ariel Dale in for Taylor. Pulls up. First jump shot for James. No. Westgate had it, but Warble poked it away. And here comes Grace the other way. James tried to get her first points of the day on her first shot. Comes almost halfway home here in the second. Stoll between the circles. Left-hand drive and flings it out near side to Hostetler, with James defending in the Taylor man-to-man. Weave up top. McMahon thought about turning down the lane. Taylor daring her to shoot. Out to Hostetler. A long 3-ball from the hash mark is rattled in by Cameron Hostetler. 8 in the quarter for Hostetler. She's got a team-high 11, matching the output by Taylor's Kayla Kirtley. And the Trojan lead down to 7, 29-22, just past the halfway point here of quarter number 2. Deckard looked Westgate's way as the Trojans cut through the paint. Dale left side, left block Westgate, dribble to set herself over Warble. Power shot, no. Westgate couldn't get her own miss. It's tapped and careened and corralled by Hostetler, who's been stellar here in the first half for Grace. She holds far side of the floor. Out near the volleyball line in Ryman as Grace shoots on the basket to our left, clad in black. Taylor in the home whites. Stoll dribbling. Weave up top again with Ryman, trying to turn the corner right side. Runs her into a screen. Little jump shot. Kirtley might have blocked it. It was missed by Warble, and an incredibly late foul call comes on Kayla Kirtley. She got the block and then hit the forearm of Warble, but the whistle didn't come until the ball was already rebounded. And Taylor head coach across from us, Jody Martinez, hands on his hips, looking for an explanation. So they say it came after the shot, not on the forearm, but after a little hip check. Kirsten Poor back in for Grace. 2 free throws for Warble. The senior out of Ligonier, Indiana, shooting 59% this season. Front rim long. She'll have one more coming, looking for her first point. Hostetler has the hot hand, 11 points, on 4 of 6 shooting, 3 of 4 from downtown. Warble makes the second for her first point today. 3-0 burst, or maybe a 4-0 burst for Grace out of their 30-second timeout. They now trail by 6. 4:14 remaining here in the second. Taylor still shooting above 50%. Grace is at 32%. 2-3 zone for the Lancers. James, near side Deckard, right corner Kirtley, dribbling in on the baseline. Into the paint, Westgate, power move, goes up strong. Shot was blocked. Mitchell get it back, and then she'll turn it over. That's intercepted by Stoll as Westgate tried to find Dale. Stoll, their top scorer, scoreless so far, gives off to Hostetler, their top scorer today with 11. Poor fakes and drives, bangs with Kirtley, and kicks out far side to Stoll. Quick head fake, Dale right there to prevent an easy look. Stoll drives, left hand floater, right hand off the glass, no. And the 6th rebound of the opening half is Kayla Kirtley's. 11-6. Deckard open, they turn away from Meredith Deckard, and thankfully for Grace, she missed a wide open 3. James pulls from 3 and hits for her first bucket today. 32-23, for some reason only known to Grace defenders. 3 turn and ran away from the best three-point shooter in the Crossroads League. And probably the best three-point shooter in the country. Hostetler, hot hand today, and that continues for a 25-footer. Her second one from way outside, 11 in the quarter for Hostetler. She's made 3 threes in a row, and Grace's Dan Davis takes a 30-second timeout with his team down by 6.
Many of us spend more
remaining in
time
quarter number
thinking
2.
about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
We say hello to the Wrights, Mr. and Mrs. Wright. Aubrey Wright's mom and dad. Grandpa Ted, we wish Grandpa Ted could be here. We wish you folks could be here with us as well. Taylor Browning comes in for the first time for Taylor. Gretchen Mall in there as well. Ava Henson back in to join Dale and James. Out of the Grace 30-second timeout, the Lancers apply the backcourt pressure. They've done this from the opening tip. And James will step across. They try to trap her. She'll float it near side to Henson, who drives on the baseline. Floating it up to Mall, whose bank shot was too strong off the high glass. And Warble has it down low. A rough miss for the Trojans, a rare one here in the opening quarter as they dip below 50% shooting. Driving kick, Stoll, 3, nope. Mull with an easy rebound down low. She bullies away from Warble. Stoll still scoreless, their top scorer. James fakes a 3 and drives. Near side Dale, extra bounce pass. Henson, 2 threes today. This one missed from the right side, and it's rebounded down low by Grace. Hostetler with her 4th first half rebound to go with a game high 14 points. With Grace to the ball down 6 with 2:24 and counting here in the second. Stoll spins away from Henson, driving in, dishing down on the Warble. Baseline jump shot perfect for Kaylee Warble. She scored 3 points here in the quarter. And Grace continues to chip away at the Taylor advantage. They once trailed by 10, 29-19. They trail by just 4 here. Dale right corner passes up an open look from 3. Dale had it, and Poor knocked it away, and then they'll give it off to James. Browning looking Maul's way if they can get it to her. Floating it in high. Gretchen on the fingertips, pulls it back in. It dances on the rim and drops for her first field goal. 4 for Gretchen, coming off of the Trojan of the season high 16 on Wednesday. And the Taylor lead up to 6 with 1:45 and counting here in the second. Poor trying to cross over Browning, got into the body, driving kick. Hostetler's been hot from 3, and that continues again with her 4th made 3 in a row. She's got 14 of her game-high 17 here in this second quarter. 5 of 6 from downtown is Hostetler making 4 in a row. Taylor turns it over, 2 buffs between the hands of Dale, and it's a 34-31 Grace deficit. Drop and pop, no. James had it. Warble poked it away, trying to save it, floats it up. Henson right there and takes the errant save from Warble. It was Patton who tried to float in her first second quarter scoring, could not. Taylor with the ball, leading by just 3. Drive and kick, gets Henson to James. Free throw line Browning, down low, Mole wide open. Left hand layup, no, but Patton got her on the arm. Deckard, Kirtley, and Nieto ready to come in. Nieto will come in for Maul. Patton exits. Taylor once led 29-19. Since then, Grace has outscored them 12-5 to trim their deficit down to 3. First of 2 for Gretchen. Perfect. 3 of 3 from the line today for Maul. 5 off the Taylor bench. A year ago, Gretchen shot just 57% from the line. Again, this year we mentioned up to 82%. And this one swished as well. 4 in the quarter for Maul. She scored Taylor's last 4. She'll exit and be replaced by Nieto. 36-31 Taylor lead. 1:04 left to go here in quarter number 2. Taylor's turned it over 11 times here in the first half, and that's playing into Grace's hands. They force their opponents into 25 turnovers per game. Deckard picks up Hostetler the full 94 feet. As Hostetler goes around to Poor screen right side. Back to Poor near side. Open look on a flare screen for a 3. Rattles that one in for Kirsten Poor. First 3 of the day. All 5 of her points have come here in the second. Poor, a 29% three-point shooter, hits, and Grace's deficit is down to 2. Into Henson, driving through contact, hits the rim and dances home. Nicely done by Ava Henson. 8 for her, 5 in the quarter, and Taylor's lead back to 4. Hostetler kicks out to Poor, trying to take Kirtley to the rack through the free throw line and off to Ryman. Spins back, got away with a carry, far side to Poor. Open look 3, short, and there's James for their first half rebound. This will be her 4th. She'll hit the brakes as Taylor leads by 4 with 15 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. We'll see where the Trojans want to go here. They've made 6 threes in the opening half. They go to Decker near side with 8. 1 dribble. Henson open to the free throw line. Nieto with 4. Henson with a 3. Fouled on the shot by Kirsten Poor, and 3 free throws coming for Henson. With 2.5 seconds left, as both head coaches scream at their teams. They're not going to let her shoot. But you just call, they said it's after the shot, but they said Kirtley's foul was after the shot, and there were free throws on the other end. Oh, that's terrible. So 2.5 seconds left. Taylor with the ball, leading by 4 in the front court. James with 1. Desperation heave before the horn, off the glass badly and high. That is an egregious call from what is normally a really good crew. They completely flipped what they said on the other end. But what are you going to do? 38-34 Taylor's lead at the break over Grace. We'll come back with the BSN Sports Halftime Report after this here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Play that old song! You really want her to play it. That's what's really going to evoke the memory. You gotta have the music that you listen to.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or it can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greek's Pizzeria. It's our taste.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Back inside Odell Arena, this is the BSN Sports Halftime Report. At the break, it is Taylor 38, Grace 34. The Trojans used a 12-0 run to close the first quarter, led 19-2. Taylor outscored by 3 in the second, and they lead by 4 here at the break. The Trojans' biggest lead was 10. That was midway through the second quarter. That forced a Grace timeout. Grace's biggest lead was 5. That came in the first. Taylor shot the ball great in the first half, 50% right on the nose, 14 of 28. They were 6 of 15 from 3 for 40%, and a perfect 4 of 4 from the line after shooting just 50% from the free throw line in Wednesday's win over Bethel. Grace shot 36% from the floor, 12 of 33, but they were well above their season average in three-point shooting. The Lancers came in with the third worst three-point shooting percentage in the Crossroads League at 33%, even though they make the third most threes per game. Well, they shot 50% in the first half, 9 of 18, which is right at their season average for a whole game. They were at the line twice, and they made 1 of the free throws. Taylor, the storyline from the first half were the 2 top scorers for either team being held in check. Taylor's Lauren James, in the top 5 in scoring, coming in at 16 points per game, had just 1 field goal in the first half, a 3-point basket. She went 1 of 2 overall. Kiana Stoll, the top scorer for Grace at almost 17 a game, also in the top 5 in the Crossroads League. 0 of 5 from the field and 0 of 3 from downtown, as Ava Henson has done a good job to limit her looks, and the 2-3 zone has done a good job of Grace to limit James's looks. The Trojans' top scorer in the first half was Kayla Kirtley, who had 11 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 1 of 3 from downtown. 8 points for Ava Henson, making her third start today with a pair of threes. 6 for Meredith Deckard, all coming in the first quarter, both on threes. 6 points for Gretchen Mall off the bench, with 4 of her 6 coming from the free throw line. 3 points for James, as we mentioned, and 2 for Kiara Nieto. Playing in the first half but not scoring were Ariel Dale and Taylor Browning. Taylor Westgate also had 2 points for the Taylor cause. For Grace, they got a season-high 17 from Cameron Hostetler in the first half on 6 of 8 shooting, 5 of 6 from beyond the arc, including making her last 4 in a row. Hosteller came in averaging just a shade below 10 points per game, and the season high was 16. The 5 threes is a new career high for her. Her old career high was 4. We mentioned Stoll's struggles, scoreless in the first half. 6 off the bench for Kaylee Patton on a pair of threes back in the first quarter. 5 for Kirsten Poor. 3 points for Maddie Ryman. 3 for Kaylee Warble. Playing but not scoring were Kiana Stoll, Kiara Gill, and Kenzie McMahon. As Grace played 8 players in the first half, Taylor played 9 as the Trojans back on the floor here. Taylor won the rebounding battle, which is not surprising. They're the 9th best team in the NAI in rebound margin, rebounding their opponents by 11 per game. And that's how much they out-rebounded Grace by in the first half, 23-12, including 6-4 on the offensive glass. That led to 3 second-chance points for Taylor, no second-chance opportunities for Grace. Turnovers were a problem for Taylor in the first half. They had 12 assists on 14 hoops, but they gave it away 11 times, which is no surprise since Grace forces 25 turnovers to their opponents per game. Grace had 8 assists to 6 turnovers on their 12 baskets. No blocks for Taylor in the first half, 2 for Grace. Just 2 steals for the Trojans, 7 steals for Grace, 2 by Maddie Ryman. Top rebounder for Taylor in the first half was Kayla Kirtley with a game-high 6. Kaylee Warble paced Grace with 5 caroms in the opening 20 minutes. That does it for the BSN Sports Halftime Report. When we come back, Taylor will try to continue rolling on and pick up their 6th win in a row as they lead Grace 38-34 here at the break, trying to move to 12-3 overall and 6-2 in the Crossroads League. Grace trying to get their 10th win of the season and move their Crossroads League record to 2-5. We're back with the second half after this here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or it can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greek's Pizzeria. It's our taste.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Second half about to get underway. Both teams will have their 5 starters from the beginning of the game on the floor. Grace will start with the ball. They'll have Maddie Ryman, Kiana Stoll, Cameron Hostetler, Kirsten Poor, and Kaylee Warble. The Trojans counter with their 5 starters, as I mentioned, Meredith Deckard, Lauren James, Kayla Curley, Ava Henson, and Kiara Nieto. So Henson will guard Hostetler, who had the hot hand in the first half with a game-high 17, including 5 of 6 from downtown. Stoll, near side Poor, left-hand drive, trying to get around Curley. Good help, Nieto, and Poor flings it out of bounds to try to thread the needle from the middle of the lane to the left block and Warble. Just 6 first-half turnovers for Grace. Their first possession, 13 seconds in, results in a giveaway. And here comes the full court press, the 1-2-2 press here by Grace. Henson runs to the front. Pressure comes from behind, turns and gives it back to James. Taylor in white with gold numbers and purple letters shooting on the basket to our left. Grace in the all-black with red numbers and red letters in the white trim. Flinging it far side, Henson, right corner, Deckard fakes a 3, goes to the baseline right, and Kirtley. Pressure there from Warble with 9 to shoot. Low bounce pass out to James. Into the paint. Nieto, kick open, right corner, 3-ball. Kirtley, no, off the front rim on a good look from 12 in white. And both teams come up empty on their opening possession here in the third quarter, just like they did in the first. Ryman trying to go end-to-end, left corner to Poor. Picks up the bounces, Kirtley collapses onto her. Flipping it outside to Ryman, right-hand drive on James, got to the mid-post right, almost fumbled it away, and she'll float it outside to Stoll, guarded by Deckard in the Taylor man-to-man. Weave up top, good fight by Henson over the screen, driving Hostetler, Eurostep, falls down, and a traveling violation called against Cameron Hostetler. So back-to-back turnovers for Grace on their first 2 possessions of the third. Taylor will get the ball back with 8:55 left to go here in the third, still leading by the halftime margin of 38-34. 1-2-2 press put on by the Lancers. They've been in this press after every made basket and every dead ball in the backcourt since the opening tip. That is what they do under third-year head coach Dan Davis. So no surprise from the Trojans. Try to trap James in the backcourt. She's got 2 seconds to get it across and did to Kirtley. So the Trojans avoid disaster there by giving it over on a live ball turnover at midcourt. Now a 2-3 zone look here for Grace. Deckard between the circles, high left side Henson, backside Kirtley, open step around Warble, and a nice layup on the right hand, right side Kirtley. 13 for her to lead Taylor, and the Trojan lead is up to 6 on their first bucket of the third. Driving on the other end is Poor, who throws it off the bottom of the basket. Picked up off the parquet by James. Open Deckard, transition 3, swish! Straight cash, homie Deckard. 9 for the sharpshooter, who's shooting 54% from 3 in her last 4 games and picks up right where she left off in the first. 9-point Taylor advantage, 43-34. Nice drive, but Poor. She did everything except make the basket. Pulled up by Nieto, couldn't thread it up to the outletting Henson. Deckard open, they should float it near side to Kirtley. Avoid stepping on the near sideline, her 3-point shot off of the back rim. Henson hauls it in for Taylor, and she'll float it out to Deckard. Pulling it in, left block James, nice little drop down, Nieto, who floats it in with a right hand. Wonderful start for the home team. Here to get things rolling on a 7-0 jaunt. Here to get things going in the third, and they lead by a game-high 11. 2.5 gone as Hostetler fakes and drives. Baseline right, on a little pitch down to Warble. Bodying with Nieto, who poked it away. And then another eternity comes before the whistle blows. That ball was poked away, picked up, and was going the other way, and then the whistle faintly comes in front of the limited crowd. It was late and it was quiet, and that's upsetting. Poor and Warble exit for Grace. Kaylee Patton, who had 6 in the opening quarter, and McMahon come in for Grace. That's Kenzie McMahon and Kaylee Patton, a pair of freshmen. McMahon out of Monroeville, Indiana, and Patton, as we mentioned earlier, out of Warsaw. Shot clock resets to 20 as it'll be gotten in near side. Good def by Deckard to poke the pass from Hostetler, intended for Stull, out of bounds near side. And Grace will get it in the near sideline as they shoot on the basket to our right in black. So looking for their first points, almost 3 minutes into this third stanza. Into Hostetler, nice fake and drive, pulls up from the mid-range. Rare miss off the front rim, dancing in. Getting it low was McMahon, and she was fouled by either Kirtley or James as she was sandwiched between the 2 Taylor players. That's on Kirtley. Kayla unhappy with it. Her second and the first against Taylor here in the third. It will not be a shooting foul. Interesting. Okay. I don't know what's going on today with our officials. I apologize. Hostetler into the baseline to Stull, still looking for her first points off the fingertips of Ryman. Thankfully for her, Patton was right behind her to keep Disaster from brewing for Grace. Good handoff, Hostetler. Nieto comes flying out on the hedge. Hostetler goes in, threw it behind on a nice wrap pass to McMahon. It was stolen off the floor by Taylor's Lauren James. 9 turnovers, 3 on the first 3 possessions here for Grace to start the third quarter off. Taylor on a big burst in the third. Right block, Deckard back, or Nieto back out to Deckard. James contested 3 straight away, halfway down and out, and it's hauled in by McMahon down low. Good look from James from straight away. Deckard jumps and tried to save it as she almost landed on her father, Phil Deckard, who's our official scorer across from us. Thankfully, Meredith avoided pops and was able to save it, but stepped out of bounds before saving it. Taylor on a 7-0 start to the third quarter. They lead by a game-high 11, 45-34, as they scored on 3 straight possessions. I'm going to put the shot clock to 25. Did I hear that right? There we go. 25 to shoot, 6:39 remaining in the third quarter as Henson pesters Hostetler, has been the best offensive player in the game today with a game-high 17. Picks her bounce, left elbow McMahon, backdoor cut, pass behind intended for Stoll, slapped away by Taylor's Deckard and hauled in by Kirtley. 4 turnovers in the first 5 possessions for GC, and they trail by 11 as Taylor tries to extend their 7-0 lead, or 7-0 run. James, free throw line, Nieto, trying to thread it through to Kirtley, bounce out, pass was too late to get to Deckard, and Hostetler came in and stole it away for GC. Up the floor to McMahon, spins, pirouettes, flings it far corner to Ryman as she avoided a travel. Pull up, mid-range, jump shot, back iron, no. Rebounded by Kirtley on the miss from the far side of the floor by Ryman. Kirtley's 7th rebound, nice thread through Henson, and Nieto does the rest, laying it in with a right hand. How about a 9-0 start to the third quarter for Taylor, and Grace needs a timeout. Biggest lead of the afternoon for the home team. 30-second timeout, the last one for Grace. 47-34, the Taylor lead.
When you need the fuel to be your nephew's #1 fan, Holiday Inn Express. We're there, so you can be too.
So out of the Grace 30-second timeout, they've got 2 fulls left. Taylor on a 9-0 burst to start the third quarter off. They lead by a game-high 13. Hostetler drives, Gretchen Mall in for Taylor along with Taylor Westgate. Driving, right-hand scoop, no. And another late foul call comes here by our officiating crew. It was a Kaylee Patton drive, a nice one from the top as she wheeled down to the right block. Westgate got her on the arm. Westgate's first, team's 3rd of the third quarter after being called for just 1 foul in the first half. 2 free throws for Patton, 8 of 12 in her freshman campaign. And now she's 9 of 13 as it hits the front rim and rolls. First point for Patton since the opening quarter when she had 6. And that ends a scoring drought for Grace with the 5:39 mark of quarter 3. And Patton made them both. She's got 8 after having no points in the last 2 games. James sauntering to the near side, back to the middle, and Westgate trying to break the full court press. Pass tipped is still into the hands of Deckard as Taylor gets into the front court. 47-36, the Taylor lead. 5:25 and counting here in quarter number 3. 2-3 zone for Grace. The Trojans trying to win their 6th game in a row. Deckard near side of the floor, looking Mall's way, trying to float it in. Left elbow Westgate, high one to Mall, picked it away and floats it up high to Henson. But they'll say that Mall stepped on the 3-second violation against Gretchen down low. There was a bunch of whistles and a lot of looks from our officiating crew back and forth. So Gretchen was down low too long. Still made a great athletic move to get that high pass. And here comes Grace the other way after their first points of the quarter. Stoll, guarded by Deckard, trying to go down the left side of the lane. Meredith cuts her off, and they kick it out far side to Hostetler. Left side screen, Hostetler picks it up. Good collapse out there, or good challenge out there, I should say, by Henson. Stoll drives, reverse layup, off the glass and nothing else, but no one home for Taylor to pick it up. Double dribble was there, thrown through multiple bodies, and it goes off of Maddie Ryman of Grace as the ball landed right in front of Gretchen Mall for Taylor. She couldn't pick it up, It was scooped up by McMahon down low, but Grace unable to capitalize on the gift. Still an 11-point Taylor lead. They've outscored Grace 9-2 here in the third quarter. As Mall holds backcourt near side to the middle and Westgate far side to James as she tries to break the full court press. She'll dribble away from trouble. Westgate flings it high to Deckard with a second to spare, and Deckard will watch her feet stay inside the white sidelines, and Taylor's possession starts here. 2-3 zone with James staring into it between the circles. Near side to Henson, into the paint to Westgate, had it poked away, got it back, floating it far sideline Deckard. Back to the elbow, Westgate fakes a jump shot, trying to go up and under, shot was missed. Mall tried to poke it to herself, could not, and it's hauled in down low by Patton, who's been impressive here this afternoon. Tries to go end to end, her shot is recycled by the left hand of Westgate. After a breather, Kirtley and Nieto return for the Trojans, replacing Mall and Westgate. So the 5 starters back out there for Taylor: Henson, Deckard, James, Nieto, and Kirtley. Grace ball under their basket. Hostetler to get it in, trailing by 11. Far side to Stoll, who's still yet to score this afternoon, 0 of 6. One of the top 3 scorers in the Crossroads League. Hostetler's been impressive today with 17 points. Henson fights in. She doesn't go the screen and roll with McMahon. Out to Ryman, near corner to Hostetler. Right block McMahon, one dribble and kick. Patton gets away with an egregious travel. She'll go down low to McMahon, who lays it in. That was awful. Patton caught the ball and hopped, and they didn't wall anything. 4-0 run here for Grace. They trail by 9, 47-38 as Taylor's offense is cooled after that quick 9-0 burst. 3:37 and counting. Grace goes back to that 3-2 zone. Henson to the between the circles to James again. Things at far side. Kirtley, open look, 3-ball, cash. Kayla Kirtley. 5 in the quarter for Kirtley. 18 in the game, and then Henson steals and lays it in on the other end, taking it away from 2 Grace players. 14-point Taylor lead. Well done by Miss Ava Henson. 3:10 to go in the third. Ryman wheeling, tries to go back to her right hand, trying to turn the corner. Double team. Nice find, weak side McMahon, as she was double teamed by James and the helping Kirtley. Second field goal in a row for McMahon after being scoreless in the opening half. And the Taylor lead down to 12. Floating it far side, James to Nieto, bullied, and there's an easy foul call against Patton. It was one of the weaker foul calls we've had today, but it's Patton's third. First one against the Lancers here in quarter 3. Patton will exit with those 3 personals, and Sarah O'Day will make her first appearance of the day. O'Day, a 5'11 freshman from Plainfield, Indiana. 52-40, the Taylor advantage. 2:50 left to go here in the third stanza. James around the arc, right side, picks up the bounce in the 3-2 zone. A little slip down, mid-range jump shot, Kirtley no good, and it's hauled in by McMahon, who's picked up her performance here in the third. Floating it near side to Hostetler. Still trying to find her second half scoring. Euro step in. She'll step to continue again as Henson gets shoved from behind. No ill will as McMahon tries to help her up. First one on the freshman, and number 2 against Grace here in the third. Hostetler has missed both of her shot attempts here in this third quarter after going 6 of 8 in the first half. James quickly off to Henson, who accelerates front court. Far sideline, Deckard, they leave her open, and Deckard makes them pay with her 4th 3 today. 12 for Deckard on the assist from Henson. The Trojan lead is 15. Driving, Hostetler, there's her first basket of the second half, after pouring in 14 in the second quarter alone. 55-42, the Taylor advantage. Deckard in the front court off a long pass as Taylor breaks the press. James far sideline with 2 minutes remaining in the third. Taylor with the ball and leading by 13. James with a left-hand dribble, bouncing it back. Nieto thought someone was in the corner, and she let it bounce by her. And James turns it over. The Trojans' 14th turnover of the game, just their 3rd here of the third quarter. A big spot there for the Trojans. A one-hand bouncer from James will bounce away. 1:50 remaining in the third stanza. Grace with the ball from left to right in black. They trail by 13. They've trailed by as many as 15. O'Day turning the corner, got to the mid-post right and sends it out to Ryman on the near side. Double team comes. Ryman still driving with the right hand. Back to her left side of the lane. Into the paint to McMahon. It was knocked away. And then McMahon gets called for a touch foul on Kirtley in the backcourt. Second on McMahon. 3rd against Grace in the quarter. Here comes Kirsten Poor back in for Grace. Replacing whom? It'll be Maddie Ryman. Ariel Dale will come in. She'll make her first third quarter appearance. And she'll give Henson a breather. Henson, a good job today. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Career highs in all but the rebounding category. First double-figure scoring game for Ava Henson of her young career. Backcourt pressure from Grace. Nieto, far side to the knees. James up the floor, far sideline. Deckard had Dale for a sliver, but didn't want to risk it, and she'll back it out. Thought about stepping into a three. Kirtley around the arc. Dale, contested three, was fouled on the arm, and it does not bounce in. But O'Day came in and slapped her on the forearm, and 3 free throws upcoming for Ariel Dale. So after the two teams had just 3 fouls in the whole first half, they've committed a combined 7 here in the third, with 1:19 remaining in quarter number 3. Dale trying to find her first points today. Good free throw shooter at 79%. First one good. Dale had a fantastic career at Northfield High School, where she was the all-time leading scorer for both boys and girls basketball. Had a wonderful run through the state tournament her senior year, which I believe included at least a sectional title, maybe a regional. Her sophomore here out of North Manchester knocks all 3 of them down, her first 3 points. And Taylor Westgate comes in replacing Kayla Kirtley. So the 3 free throws from Dale give Taylor their biggest lead of the afternoon at 16, 58-42. They've outscored Grace 20-8 here in the third stands after leading by 4 at the break. O'Day through the middle of the floor, up top to Stoll. Around the arc, good hedge by Westgate, back to O'Day left side. Left block McMahon, double team from James, kick out to O'Day for an open look from 3, hits off the front rim into the Trojans' top rebounder. Taylor Westgate has her first of the second half. James floating near side to Dale, will set her feet and then give it back to the trailing James. Looking for help, left corner Dale driving baseline on McMahon. Off the foot, it's kicked. Then Dale, as she went back down to get it, she jumped onto the floor and her feet were out of bounds. And the turnover will send it back to Grace. 15th giveaway for Taylor here in the contest. They've dominated things in the paint 20-8 in favor of Taylor, as both teams have knocked down 9 threes today. Still trying to get going, still scoreless on the day. Flings it outside to O'Day. Left-hand drive, hesitation, backs down James, up and over the shoulder defender. No, and Westgate hauls in another rebound. That's her 5th here of the game so far. 28 to go here in the third quarter with 3 to go. Deckard pointing where she wanted Nieto to go, and that allows Grace to slide back into the 3-2 zone. They had James open for a moment, and now James will run the show. Near side to Deckard, 13 to shoot, free throw line. Nieto threw an off-balance pass, didn't even look at it, and it got poked away, but then Deckard comes in and saves the day, poking it away, and now Taylor can hold for the final shot with 7 to go in the third. Now 5 and 4. James with it, right side of the floor, has got to go quick with 2, getting loose with the dribble. Her shot is blocked. Nieto had it, but couldn't let a shot go off as James took 1 too many dribbles. Hostetler blocked the shot, and we go to the fourth quarter. Taylor outscoring Grace 20-8 in the third. They lead 58-42 after 3 quarters here on the Trojans Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
When you need the fuel to be your nephew's #1 fan, Holiday Inn Express. We're there, so you can be too.
After having 17 in the first half, Taylor limits Cameron Hostetler to just 2 in the third quarter. And the Trojans go 7 of 13 from the field in the third quarter. They outscore Grace 20-8, and they lead 58-42 as the fourth quarter is underway. 5 starters out there for the Trojans with the ball from right to left in white, and now a 3-2 zone here for Grace. Deckard, high right side, open for a moment, couldn't let one go. as the Taylor Trojans work it around the arc. Mid-range jump shot long from the baseline left for Kirtley, and the miss is gobbled up by Sarah O'Day, who starts the fourth quarter after coming in late in the third. Up to Poor, faking a three and driving is O'Day. Got to the free throw line, now caught in trouble with Nieto defending her. Hostetler dips it outside to McMahon. Five on the floor that ended the third, start the fourth here for GC. It'll be Kiana Stoll, still scoreless today, driving, right-hand layup. There's her first bucket. 9:23 remaining in the fourth. Stoll had missed her first 6 shots, finally gets one to go here for one of the top scorers in the Crossroads League. And the Taylor lead down to 14 at 58-44. Henson to the front court, breaking the Grace pressure. Hostetler, Stoll, Poor, McMahon, and O'Day, the Grace 5 in the 3-2 zone. Left corner, Kirtley. O'Day leaves her open. 3-point shot long. Nieto pokes into the air and gets the offensive rebound. Outside to James as she tries to measure. Free throw line, Nieto turns and looks. Still turning, and she'll dump it outside to Henson. Right corner, Kirtley driving from the right corner. That ball kicked by McMahon, and it'll stay here with Taylor. Both coaches, Dan Davis in his third year at Grace, Jody Martinez in his fourth at Taylor, have been unhappy with their teams for a lot of this afternoon's game, with a lot of yelling from both men. Maddie Ryman in along with Kaylee Patton for Grace. They replace O'Day and McMahon. But both Martinez and Davis, two of the most high-energy coaches you'll find in the Crossroads League. James takes the baseline inbounds pass and gives it off to Kirtley near side. 2-3 zone again for Grace. They've been in this zone since the opening tip. Decker thought about a 25-foot three. They finally work it into Nieto at the free throw line. Right-hand drive in paint. Kicking right corner, Deckard fakes a three, long two, perimeter right, swish for Meredith Deckard. A rare two for Deckard. She's got 14 points, second on the Trojans in scoring today, as now Henson will pester Hostetler in the backcourt. 60-44, the Taylor advantage. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. Hostetler thought about going end-to-end, passing back to Poor. She traveled on the high left side and gives off to Patton, trying to go up and under on Nieto. Good job. Driving in Ryman, almost fell over. Driving kick far side, rainbow three, Poor. Nope. Good block out by James, and then she got hog-tied by Patton, spun around. Fourth one on Patton on the excellent box out by Lauren James. First one against Grace here in the fourth. Grace, the best team in the Crossroads when it comes to fouls per game. They average less than 15 per game, which is best in the league. Taylor breaks the press as Henson takes the pass from James and then gives it back to James and then off to Decker. Thought about a long three from the hash mark, did Deckard, and now she gives off to James as Taylor surveys the 2-3 zone. Left corner, Kirtley, three ball, bang from the corner. Third one of the day for Kayla Kirtley as she's got a game-high 19 points on a wonderful 7 of 16 shooting afternoon on her third triple. Taylor up by 19, their biggest lead today. Driving in, Patton Nieto blocked the shot, but I think Kiara got her with a hip. First on Nieto, first against Taylor here in the quarter. And Patton to the line for 2 free throws, where she's 2 of 2 today. 8 points for Patton, and now 9, with one more free throw to come, trying to be the second Grace player in double figures. Coming off of back-to-back games with no points, where she was 0 of 5 from the floor and 0 of 4 from 3. She knocks down the second freebie. Perfect from the line today, and an even 10-4 here in the second half for Patton. And Taylor's lead down to 63-46. 2.5 minutes expired here in the fourth. Nieto accelerates, spins, and gives off to Kirtley as the Grace bench pleads for a travel against Nieto that falls on deaf ears. 2-3 zone for Grace. Far side of the floor, Deckard. She draws the eyes of a couple of Grace defenders, clad in black. Henson, mid-post left Nieto with 8. Top of the key, James with 7. Deckard far side with 5, with 4. They got to go quick. Kirtley with 3, with 2. Henson got to go before the horn is an air ball. And that will be a shot clock violation and give the ball back to Grace. 17th turnover for Taylor today. Grace has got 14 of them. So Taylor's been able to keep the turnovers. It's right at one above their season average, but below the average that Grace forces of their opponents. 3 minutes expired here in the fourth. Patton drives, pulls up, league logo, short shot, front rim, dances all around and drops. No one slid on Patton on a screen, and Patton gets 4 in a row. She's got 12, and the Trojan lead down to 15. 63-48, Kirtley being pressured by Hostetler in the backcourt, and they get Kirtley for an offensive foul as she bodied Hostetler and sent her spinning and sprawling down to the parquet floor. Third one on Kirtley, second one against Taylor here in the fourth. That's the first time we've seen the pressure really get to Taylor today in the backcourt from Grace. So back-to-back turnovers by the Trojans. As Grace trying to work on this 4-0 burst, they trail by 15. Patton's had the last 4, thought about taking Nieto to the rack. Good collapsing on the double team by Kirtley. Top of the key, Hostetler. Henson defends in the Taylor man-to-man. Patton waving away, now hands off to Stahl. Thought about going to her left, floats it near side, and now it's into the hands of Hostetler. Driving right around Henson, Euro step in, too strong. James came in, it goes out of bounds off of James as Ryman had inside position. As the second half woes continue here for Cameron Hostetler. Just 1 for 4 from the floor after going 6 of 8 for a game-high 17 in the first. And Kiana Stoll, Grace's top scorer at almost 17 per game, just 1 for 7 with 2 points. Those coming here in the fourth a couple of minutes ago. Ryman goes in, they get James for a body. James disagrees with it, but it looks to be the right call. She stepped in and collided with the hip of Ryman. The ball will stay on the floor. Third foul against Taylor here in the fourth, first against their top scorer, James, who's also been limited today, just 3 points. She does have a career-high tying 6 rebounds and 4 assists, but her turnover numbers have been high today as well. Still down by 15 is Grace. Far side Ryman thought about a catch-and-shoot 3, now trying to drive. Double teamed with Kirtley. Ryman falls down. Kirtley avoids getting called for a foul. Poor drives in. Kirtley might have got her on the arm. It's a miss and rebound by Taylor. No pressure from Grace. Up the floor, it's Deckard. Had Henson open for a moment but couldn't get there. James, wide open 3. Cash for Lauren James. Second field goal for James. She's got 6 points on her second 3 ball, and Taylor leads by 18. 5:40 left to go in the fourth. Outside Poor passes up an open look from 3, drives on Kirtley, no good, but they'll get Kirtley with a hip. Kirtley has her hands in the air straight up, but I think they got her on the lower body. Yep, on a block on the hip. That will be the 4th one against Kayla Kirtley, who's been Taylor's best player today. Kayla with 19 points, 2 off of her career high, and a game high 7 rebounds. 2 free throws for Poor. The first one, front rim short. 1 more to come. Poor shooting 69% from the line this year. The head coach, Dan Davis, says she's the best overall kid that he has recruited from a pure basketball standpoint. And she's been impressive. 8 points and 6 rebounds on the season. She'll make the second. She's got 6 in the game. Her first scoring of the second half, and Taylor's lead at 66-49. And the Trojans make easy work of the backcourt press here from Grace. 5:25 and counting as Taylor Westgate jogs to the Taylor scores table. Left corner, Kirtley. Left block, Nieto on the pass. Turns and faces the basket. Dribble, trying to turn the quarter. Off balance, couldn't get it. But Nieto will go to the line for a chance at 2 free throws. As now one of our officials having words with one of our fans in the second row. Fifth one on Kaylee Patton. She'll foul out. First Grace player to foul out this season. Kirtley will exit, as Taylor Westgate will take her spot in the Taylor lineup. 2 free throws for Kiara Nieto, as McMahon has come back in for the Lancers. First one for Key, back rim too strong, as Kirtley has struggled to shoot the free throws as of late. There's just 1 for 5 in the win over Bethel on Wednesday, as all of the Trojans struggled to shoot the free throws that night. Second one for the senior. Rattles halfway down and out, goes overhead. Henson right there to clean it up, and he lays it in for 2. 12 for Ava Henson as she continues to add to that career-high total. 68-49, time the biggest lead for Taylor this afternoon as we approach the halfway point here of the fourth. They try to work it to McMahon, poked away. She got it back, drives on Nieto. Nice little right-hand flip in for 2 for Kenzie McMahon. All 6 of her points have come here after halftime. And the Taylor lead down to 17. The Trojans break the press with a pass cross-court from James to Nieto. Kiara picks it up, bouncing off to Westgate. She had Henson open backside. She'll go to the open Deckard. Good closeout by the long arms of Kirsten Poor. But Deckard just backs up and pulls the trigger, and it's a 25-foot bomb for her third made 3 in a row. 17 for Deckard, who continues to shoot white hot. McMahon catches the miss, lays it in, missed it, was fouled. And we'll see who that foul is on. It's on the Trojans. It's their 5th one today. Third one against Nieto. And Nieto will exit, and Kirtley will come back in. She's got to be careful playing with 4 personal fouls. How can you not guard Meredith Deckard? 5 of 8 from 3. She's now made 25 of her last 35 threes, shooting well over 50% in the last 4+ games. Welcome back, 3 in white. First one good from McMahon. She's got 7. Good day for McMahon. 7 points, 6 boards, and a perfect 3 of 3 from the floor. She's one of the 7 members of the freshman class for Grace as she makes the second freebie. Biggest class in Dan Davis's 3 years at the helm. Westgate in the middle to Kirtley in the backcourt. Now James will accelerate front court as the Trojans again bust up the pressure of the Grace Lancers. 18-point lead. Westgate will abuse McMahon, and a bully move from Westgate will send her to the line for 2 on the foul and a push from McMahon, her third, and number 3 against the visitors. Westgate coming off the career-high 15 points on Saturday, 7 of 10 from the floor that night. First free throw up and perfect. 3 for Westgate with 1 more freebie to come, trying to push the Taylor lead back up to a game-high tying 20. Back rim, too strong, and it's McMahon's property down low for the Lancers, trailing by 19 with 4:08 remaining here in the second half. Hostetler held to just 2 points here in the second half after having 17 in the first. Stoll has been quiet all afternoon, just 2 points for her. Deckard guarding her, and an off-ball holding foul called against who? Against Deckard? Okay. First on Meredith. And Stoll will go to the line for 2 bonus free throws. Just 1 for 7 today from the floor. And she rushes the first free throw here, missing it off the front rim. A rare miss from the line for Stoll at 86%. And an 81% free throw shooter for her career. Second one just rolls off. And the roll and the day continues to be bad for Stoll. She'll tap the pass out of bounds here. It remains a 19-point Taylor advantage with less than 4 minutes remaining here in quarter number 4. Taylor still shooting. They've actually improved their shooting percentage. They're at 53%. Grace is at just 35%. Taylor's at 50% in the first half. They've only shot better here after halftime. Henson high left side, mid-post left bounce pass Westgate. Try to go up and under, drive and kick. He'll go far sideline to Deckard. So plenty of time to work. High post right side Westgate, fumbled the ball, got it back. Tried to slip it through to Kirtley, poked away nicely by McMahon and stolen by the Grace post player. Taylor's 18th turnover here of the ball game. They still lead, however, by 19. Stoll around the screen, got to the free throw line, back to the screener McMahon, right block. She shook away from Westgate on a nice move from the freshman McMahon and lays it in. 6 of her 10 have come here in the fourth, and she still has yet to miss a shot, 4 of 4 from the floor. And it's 72-55, the Taylor advantage. Nieto to the scorer's table. 2-3 zone again for Grace. James between the circles, free throw line Westgate, floating far sideline to Deckard. Hostetler right there on the catch, watching her every move. Now 9 to shoot. James up top. Left side high. Henson into Westgate. Beautiful spin over that left shoulder. Her shot was blocked. Oh, that's a rough one for Grace to take. One official underneath, Charles Smith, said it was a block. Our official on the near side says foul. He overrules. And Westgate will go to the line for 2 free throws. Number 4 against McMahon and against Grace here in the fourth. 2 for Westgate. First one long off the back rim. And Nieto will come in if Westgate can make the second freebie. And she does. 4 for Westgate. 2 of 4 from the line this afternoon. And Kiara Nieto comes back in to the Taylor lineup. It's Nieto, James, Kirtley, Deckard, and Henson, the Taylor 5, with the Trojans leading by 18, 73-55, less than 3 to go here in the fourth. Hostetler around. Kick near side to O'Day, who came in during the last dead ball. Good lefty drive, O'Day. Off balance right-hand shot. Off the glass, up and over Kirtley for 2. Well done by Sarah O'Day. First scoring for her, Taylor's lead to 16. James will throw it far side to Nieto. She'll accelerate front court, jump stop, and find the trailing Kirtley. We've seen the full court press give Taylor issues over the last couple of years where they have made, outside of that one turnover in the backcourt, they have made easy work of the Grace turnover or full court press today. Kirtley throws a low bounce pass that's too hot for Nieto to handle. And it'll go out of bounds on the Trojans' 19th giveaway here this afternoon. 16-point Taylor lead. Hostetler will jog to the front court. After the explosive first half where she had 17, she's had just 2, and that remains here on an off-balance right-hand layup that'll fall off the rim. Nieto with her 7th rebound here of the contest. James lost it, got it back, gives off near side to Henson. 2-on-3 in the front court, tried to throw it near side to Deckard. Stoll went up into the air and poked it away, and now she'll race to the front court. James cutting her off, left side of the paint. Hostetler fakes, and now she's caught in the paint. Deckard got her hands on it, and then the ball eventually finds the hands of O'Day. Low pass near side to Ryman. Lefty drive guy to the top. Stop and pop 3-ball off the right side of the rim. James will chase it down and get her career high 7th rebound today, and then draw a blocking foul on Ryman in the backcourt. First on Ryman, 5th against Grace, and that will put Taylor in the bonus for the final 142. Both teams in the bonus for the final parts of regulation. So James with just 6 points today, but 4 assists and a now career high 7 rebounds. One of the leading candidates for Player of the Year. First one hits the front rim and goes. James on pace to join Rarefied Air with a 50-40-90 season. That's shooting above 50% from the floor, over 40 from 3, and over 90 from the line. She's got all of those right now. And the 2 free throws here for James give her 8 points and push the Taylor lead back up to 18. 93 seconds left. O'Day catch and shoot 3 left side off the rim. Too strong. James gets yet another rebound. That's her career high 8th. She'll weave in the backcourt, and then a reach and foul whistle against Grace. Against O'Day. Her 2nd, and 2 more free throws coming for James. That'll let her try to get to double figures for another time here this season. She came in averaging 16 points. It's been a struggle for LJ this afternoon with 8 points. But Deckard's picked it up, 17 for her, 19 for Kirtley, and 12 for Ava Henson. First free throw good for James, gives her 9. And 1 more upcoming here with 86 seconds left, trying to push the Taylor lead back up to 20. Back rim long, a rare miss for James. Here comes Grace the other way, down by 19, shooting just 35% this season, or today, excuse me, just 30. It's at 6 percentage points below their season average. Hostetler trying to shake away from Henson. Good defense by Ava Henson to swat the shot away, and then Nieto hauls in the miss. Splendidly done, Ava Henson. 60 seconds left, and Taylor up by 19. They will be forced to take a shot with a difference between the 2 clocks. Now a little man-to-man defense, a little bit of a look. Now they slide back to the zone, does Grace. Right elbow Nieto. James claps for it, gets it, trying to hit a 3-ball. Her shot is recycled out of bounds by the 5'11", Sarah O'Day. O'Day came out of nowhere and beat James's shot to the front row. It remains with Taylor. 7 to shoot as Nieto will deal it in towards the end of the bench. Taylor shooting on the basket to our left. High pass to Kirtley. 6-5 to get a shot. Nieto right block poked away by the fronting post player McMahon. Out of bounds, and Taylor will inbound it with 2 to shoot. With Decker to get it in on the far baseline. Taylor shooting on the basket to our left. Floating it in. Curley's got to get it back. Her shot might have been blocked. It'll be an air ball out of bounds. And that ball will go back to Grace with 41 and 3/10 of a second left. The shot clock violation is Taylor's 21st turnover here this afternoon, which is 5 above their season average, but 4 below what Grace forces their opponents into this season. But the hot shooting for Taylor has made up the difference. They lead by 19. Stall drive. She's been quiet today. Right hand layup there for 4 in black, and she'll get an and 1 opportunity right here. Just the 2nd field goal for one of the top scorers in the Crossroads League in Kiana Stoll. Foul on Kiara Nieto, her 4th, and 2 free throws upcoming here for Stoll, who made 106 threes a year ago, which is the most in Grace program history. She'll get the and 1 here, rolling in the free throw. She's 0 of 3 from downtown today. All 5 of her points have come here in the 4th quarter. The Taylor defense on her has been spectacular. 16-point Taylor lead, 76-60. They will dribble out the final 17 seconds with the shot clock turned off. The Trojans will pick up yet another win over the Lancers. They've only dropped 1 game to Grace during Jody Martinez's now 4 years here. Deckard will give it off to Nieto with 3 to go. And that will be how this one will end. A 76-60 final for the Trojans. They led by 4 at the break. They outscore Grace 38-26 in the second half to win going away this afternoon. 6th win in a row for the Trojans. They are now 12-3 overall, 6-2 in the Crossroads League. Grace falls to 9-7, 1-6 in league action. We'll take a break and come back with the Ivanhoe's postgame show after this here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greeks Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greeks Pizzeria, it's our taste.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH, from our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments, in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Back here inside Odell Arena, Taylor wins their 6th game in a row, and they take the season series against Grace this afternoon by a final of 76-60. Thanks to another hot shooting performance, 2nd game in the row, the Trojans shoot over 50%. They shoot 51% this afternoon, 26-51. Taylor led 19-12 at the end of the first quarter. Grace got their mojo working in the second, outscoring Taylor by 3, as the Trojans led by just 4. Heading into halftime, but it was the third quarter that was the difference. Just like it was at Grace in December, Taylor outscored Grace 30-21 that day. Today, Taylor outscores Grace 20-8 here in the third stanza. They scored the first 9 of the quarter to lead by 13, and they did not look back from there. Other notes from that quarter, Taylor shot 7 of 13 in the third. Grace was just 3 of 12. The big stories today, the two top scorers for each team were held in check. Taylor's Lauren James held 9 points on 2 of 6 shooting. That's 7 points below her season average. And Grace's Kiana Stoll. These are two of the top scorers in the Crossroads League in the top 5 easily. Stoll comes in averaging almost 17 per game. She had just 2 field goals, 2 of 8, and 5 points as she did not score until early on in the fourth. Taylor made 12 of their 29 threes today for 41%. They continue to shoot the ball beautifully. They lead the Crossroads League at 36% from 3 and 18th in the country at 36%. They make 12 threes today, one off of their season average, which is 3rd best in the country. And they held Grace to Grace made let's try this again. Grace made 9 threes today. The problem for Grace, that was all in the first half when they went 9 for 18. They were 0 for 4 after halftime. As Grace shot just 36% from the floor today, they were 9 of 13 from the line. Taylor was 51% from the floor, 41 from 3, and 71% from the line. Taylor had 3 in double figures, led by Kayla Kirtley's game-high tying 19 points. Kayla had 11 in the first half. She finished 8 of 17 from the floor, 3 of 9 from 3, and had 8 points after halftime. For the 5th game in a row, Meredith Deckard scores at least 15 points. She finishes with 17, 11 in the second half. She goes 6 of 9 from the floor, 5 of 8 from 3, including a perfect 3 of 3 after halftime. That now moves Meredith's three-point shooting percentage in the last 5 games. She's made now 25 of her last 45 threes for 55.5%. Safe to say that I think Deckard's got her shooting touch back. 12 points for Ava Henson on new career high for her in her 3rd career start. 5 of 10 from the field with a pair of threes for Henson this afternoon. We mentioned James's 9 points, 6 for Kiara Nieto, 6 for Gretchen Mull off the Taylor bench, all in the first half. 4 for Taylor Westgate, 3 for Ariel Dale. Playing but not scoring today was Taylor Browning for the Trojans. For Grace, they were led by Cameron Hostetler, who had 19 points. She had 17 in the first half when she went 6 of 8 from the field and 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. The Trojans limited her to just 2 points after halftime on just 1 of 6 shooting. She did not attempt a single three-pointer in the second half. Other double-figure scores for Grace came off the bench. 12 for Kaylee Patton. That's 5 off of her career high. Good bounce back for Patton after being scoreless in the last 2 games. 10 points for Kenzie McMahon on a perfect 4 of 4 shooting and 2 of 2 from the line. We mentioned Kiana Stahl struggles. Their top scorer limited to just 5 points today. 3 points for Maddie Ryman, 6 for Kirsten Poor, 3 for Kaylee Warble, no points for Kiara Gill, who played in just the first quarter today, and 2 points for Sarah O'Day, coming off the bench for GC. The Trojans dominated the glass, out-rebounding Grace by 15, 40-25, which isn't a surprise. Taylor is the top rebounding margin team in the Crossroads League, 9th best in the country, out-rebounding their opponents by 11 per game. 10 offensive rebounds for the Trojans, just 9 for Grace. Taylor had the edge in second chance points, 3 to zip. Top rebounders for Taylor today, Kirtley and Nieto each with 8, and James had a career-high 8 rebounds as well. Top rebounder for Grace was Kenzie McMahon with 7. That's 1 off of a career high for her. Taylor assisted on 20 of their 26 hoops today, 5 from Ava Henson. That's a new career high for her. And 4 for Lauren James, 3 for Kirtley, and 10 assists, I should say, for Grace. 3 apiece for Hostetler and Poor, as they assisted on 10 of their 21 buckets. The turnovers were a problem today for the Trojans. They turned it over 20 times to Grace's 14, which is interesting. Taylor's got the 10th best assist-to-turnover ratio in the country at 1.2, but they were even today, 20 assists and 20 giveaways. Points on the turnover, 5 apiece for either side today. 5 blocks for the Lancers, 2 for McMahon, 4 blocks for the Trojans, 2 by Kirtley. And that ties a career high in blocks for Kayla. 7 steals for the Trojans, 2 by Kirtley, 11 steals for Grace, 4 of them had 2, Ryman, Stahl, Hostetler, and McMahon. Other points of note today, the bench for Grace outscored the Taylor bench 24-13. Points in the paint go the way of the Trojans 22-20. So the Trojans had 4 in double figures. Kayla Kirtley had the game-high tying 19, but Meredith Deckard continues to shoot the ball well. We mentioned the last 5 games, at least 15 points. For the sharpshooter wearing 3, she's now got 55% from downtown in her last 5 games shooting the 3, 25 of 45. The 3 games before this current streak, which is right before she got hurt, she was just 2 of 12 from 3. That three-point shooting percentage at 44% will continue to rise. Was in the top 10 in the league coming in, and she might be knocking on the door if she can keep shooting like this. Remember last year she was the best three-point shooter, or second best three-point shooter in the country no matter the level, NCAA or NAIA, as she shot over 50%. 50.4 was one of only 2 players north of 50 a season ago. That'll about wrap things up from here inside Odell Arena. Taylor has added a road game if you missed our pregame coverage. They'll be at Lourdes coming up on Wednesday at 4 o'clock tip time before going on the road next Saturday back into Crossroads League play at St. Francis. Special thanks to Kelly Neff and Katie Suits, our producer and camera operator today, the executive producer of the Trojan Sports Network. You guessed it, Cameron Andry. Taylor uses another third quarter outburst, outscoring Grace 20-8 in the third, and they win today by a final of 76-60. Taylor wins their 6th game in a row. They move to 12-3 overall, 6-2 in the Crossroads League, and the Trojans now 2 wins away from getting Taylor head coach Jody Martinez his 100th victory here at Taylor. That would come in less than 4 full seasons. Trojans are at Lourdes on Wednesday. They're at St. Francis on Saturday, so we won't talk to you for a while. We'll miss you. We hope you miss us. Next home game for Taylor is scheduled tentatively for Wednesday, January 20th here against Huntington, and they'll be at Huntington on Saturday, the 23rd. Once again, our final score from here inside Odell Arena. Taylor defeats Grace, winning the season series. Final score today, 76-60 in favor of the Trojans. Taylor now 10-1 here at home, 12-3 overall, 6-2 inside the Crossroads League. This has been a presentation of Taylor Women's Basketball on the Trojan Sports Network. Have a great rest of your weekend. We say good afternoon from Upland, Indiana.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.